How do you destroy a city? When William T. Sherman burned Atlanta to the ground, it rose from the ashes in less than 5 years. When the king of Babylon burned the city of Jerusalem in the 6th century BC, he did something that he thought would prevent that city from ever rising again. Before he demolished Jerusalem, he captured the builders, the artisans, and the craftsmen, and he took them to Babylon with him. 70 years later, when the kingdom of Babylon was conquered, Cyrus the Mede, the new emperor, allowed all the exiles to return to their homeland. A small remnant from Judah came back to Jerusalem. The builders who returned successfully rebuilt the city. And some of them settled in a town outside of Jerusalem, a place called Geharashim, which means the Valley of Craftsmen. Welcome to Building Mettle, brought to you by Baird & Wilson Sheet Metal. Some areas are associated with the kinds of people who work there, like Silicon Valley in California. If you take a rock and you throw it in any direction here in East Tennessee, you'll likely hit a world-class musician. It's my contention that you'll also hit a world-class builder. The musician takes invisible sounds and puts them together to build a song. The artist builds a painting or sculpture. The craftsman takes wood, metal, or stone and builds a civilization. A city or a country cannot survive without builders. The Tennessee Valley is a builder's valley, and Knoxville is a home to a community of builders that has for more than 40 years included Baird & Wilson Sheet Metal. When I see the beautiful structures you all build, the first thing that comes to my mind are the very first words of the Bible. Genesis chapter 1 begins like this: In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. Now, the Hebrew words used there for void and without form describe the state of the earth as an empty, desolate wasteland, a place of chaos. The scripture continues, and darkness was on the face of the deep. Or another word is abyss, an unfathomable, dark, deep abyss of lifelessness. Then it says, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. To the ancient Hebrew mind, the deep waters of the ocean represent chaos and death and destruction, because you can't live in the water. And so, Genesis continues, God spoke into the darkness and said, let there be light. Literally, what it says is, light be. And over a 7-day period, he spoke into the chaos and created order and beauty. He said that everything that he made was good. On the 6th day, he created human beings. Now here, he said that what he had made was very good. And here is where a Hebrew poem appears. It says the same thing 3 times in different ways. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. In chapter 2, it says God planted a garden in Eden and told the man and the woman, Adam and Eve, to tend it. He gave them work to do. For them to subdue the earth would mean they must tend and spread the garden, spread Eden, and fill the rest of the unsubdued earth with God's good order and beauty. Eden was the place where heaven and earth intersected. It was God's domain where he rested his throne and where he dwelled with humanity on earth. So, to be the image of God was an ancient way of saying that humanity would be God's royal representatives. They would be his human presence on earth, expanding throughout his new creation, God's kingdom. They were his agents of anti-wasteland, anti-darkness, and anti-chaos. That's why he created us. Now, it may be just my opinion, but I believe craftsmen, whether it's carpentry, sheet metal, concrete, construction, architects, and tradespeople who make works of beauty that shelter humanity from the destructive forces of water and nature, you play a special part in the fulfilling of the original calling and vocation that God gave humanity. You literally work as an enemy of chaos. Now, all humanity is made in the image of God, but artists and craftsmen and tradespeople, at least I believe, do a unique image-bearing work that echoes all the way back to the beginning. What I'm saying is you have a divine gift and calling, and there are more places in the scriptures where this is brought out. Of course, this story that starts out so well runs into something, or actually someone, who throws a wrench into everything. It was an agent of chaos, of darkness, and of death, who invaded the garden. Someone who didn't like what God was doing by giving these human beings so much power and responsibility in this beautiful new creation. We'll see what happens next at this point in the story in our next episode. But first, let's grab these 3 tools for today. Number 1, you are made in the image of God. Number 2, the work that you do is valuable, a special gift, and divine calling. Number 3, your enemy is chaos, and you are a royal agent for beauty. This is Eric Snyder. We'll have more tools again soon from Building Mettle. The music of Building Mettle is a production of Jed Brewer and Good Loud Media, Oak Park, Illinois. Also special thanks to Christ Community Church, Oak Ridge, Tennessee.